Good evening, my name is Garrett, and welcome to The Last Call. Tonight's final drink is from the Watershed Distillery. This is their barrel-strength straight bourbon whiskey finished in maple syrup barrels, coming in at a 54.6% ABV, at least 5 years old. Now, for full disclosure, the Watershed Distillery sent this bottle over for us to take a look at and a review, so just keeping that transparency open. When it comes to the Watershed Distillery, they are based out of Ohio, where they're aging, producing, bottling all their own kind of spirits. They're doing a few different blends with some sourcing things. They're actually getting into things like brandies and just having fun in the spirit world. And to be honest, here in the past couple years, Ohio is really stepping up their game when it comes to spirits, which is fantastic to see. Now, this is part of their fall finishing series. This is number 3 of 4 in that lineup. And these are distillery exclusives. The cool thing about this one is it's 100% Ohio made. From the barrels to the finishing to the whiskey itself is all done in Ohio, which is an awesome thing to see. And they disclose all that kind of nitty-gritty information that we love seeing here on the channel. Starting off, again, this is barrel proof, and they tell us the mash bill, which is 72% corn, 21% rye, and 7% malted barley. It is actually aged in Sweetwater maple syrup barrels from Alliance, Ohio, which it's done in that barrel for about 3 to 4 months. And the cooperage they use, which is from a Speyside cooperage, is located in Jackson, Ohio. So from the barrel to the whiskey to the maple syrup itself is all in Ohio, which is amazing to see. Big thumbs up on keeping that stuff local and making this product even more your own at the end of the day. And giving credit to the places you got the things from and the maple syrup company itself, which is, again, a big plus to see that kind of collaboration happen. So, with that great information itself, let's hop into the bottle itself, see how it goes. And before we get into things, I've had a couple things from Watershed Distillery, especially their barrel-proof things, and they've been really darn good whiskey, so I'm excited to see how that plays in that maple syrup barrel. Do love the kind of just a little bit tapering edge here on the bottle itself. Really cool, beautiful color on that. So, as always, make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel, hang around for a bit, become a member if you'd like. As always, if you're interested in some other reviews that I've done over the Watershed Distillery, links to those videos will be up above and down below, along with a link to their website so you can check them out for yourself, hunt down some bottles if you're in their area. The cool thing, again, is that this is distillery exclusive, so if you're wanting to grab one, you got to do it while it's there. There we go. Wow, they actually did some etching on the cap itself as well. Oh, there we go. Beautiful dark color. That is rich mahogany on that. Now, I've had a few things done up in maple syrup barrels, so I'm a pretty well good fan of them. I've had my exposure to them, if anything. So, let's go for notes, see how Watershed goes. Ooh, yeah, okay. So right away, you get that kind of mapley sweetness, but it's not like a sickly sweet. Like, this is nice and gentle. Got some nice maple going on in there, a little sugary sweetness. Beautiful corn profile. It's got a rich, buttery corn note going on in here. Little husky, dusty corn going on. A little bit of rye spiciness is showing up as well. Kind of just that good old rye grains going on. And there's a nice bit of spice in there too. Almost like a pastry dough mixed in there with some spices. Like if you were getting ready to make something like a cinnamon roll or like an apple It's an apple turnover because there's an apple-y sweetness in here too. So if you're making apple turnovers, you sprinkle a little bit of cinnamon sugar on top. That's it. That's beautiful. And again, this is barrel proof, so you do get a bit of warmth on the nose, but it's nothing harsh, no off notes on that. And even though, again, it is barrel proof, you are getting a little bit of warmth from it. However, it's not like a harshness. There's nothing off about it. As I keep going back, I'm finding a little bit of brown sugar, a little vanilla sweetness in there too with a dash of caramel. You got some classic bourbon notes going on. A little bit of pepperiness in there, like a white pepper. Overall, it's got a great classic bourbon nose, but that maple sweetness is lifting it up just enough, but it's not too overpowering. And I'll give that credit. Let's go for a taste. Oh, yeah. That's got a good warmth on it. Wow. Nice solid cling. Little maple syrupy on the taste. But that bourbon does a lot of lifting. You're getting nice classic bourbon notes. Dusty corn. A little bit of caramel sweetness in here. Vanilla, custard. Beautiful spices. The cinnamon stick and clove. Definitely like a baking spice. Grandma's kitchen note going on there. And while it does have that kind of a little bit of syrupy sweetness, it's not overbearing. And it's not to the point of being like a thick or a viscous sip to things. Bravo on that. The cask did enough influence to the spirit itself, but didn't overpower it in my opinion. Still getting a lot of that nice fruity sweetness. Again, for me, it's like an apple turnover with a little bit of cinnamon dusted on top. Fruit sweetness is in there. Yeah, that's a real solid pour. If anything, if I have to criticize something, it is a little bitter here in the finish. It's not overbearing in that, but it is showcasing just a little bitter. And I've had other maple syrup finishes come off that way as well. But I'll tell you what, it's really a solid pour. I'll tell you what, this is what you want during the fall time. You want to sit around a little outside bonfire, campfire area, get a dram of this. It's just warm enough in that ABV to kind of give you that little bit of warmth, but not overbearing. And that sweetness that the maple is bringing across really accents that bourbon in a beautiful way. Again, I'm getting that kind of white pepperiness going on in there. And for me, it definitely has this turnover quality. Little pastry dough in here as well. Like you're just getting that freshly baked, right out of the oven, tossed onto the shelf, and you just picked it up, let it cool down for a moment, and took a big bite. It's really darn good. Definitely probably one of the better maple syrup finishes. I'm trying to think if anything I would say would beat this one. And at the top of my head, I can't think of one. So I'm going to have to say this is probably one of the best maple syrup finished products I've had in quite some time. Don't have a lot of them, but that is just enough that your average bourbon drinker is going to love this because it brings across just enough sweetness, but doesn't overtake that bourbon. Bravo on that sip, guys. Alrighty, let's talk about a grade for this one. So again, this is distillery exclusive and it is $80. To be honest, I give it a solid B+. I think it's got a great palate to things. I love the subtle sweetness. It's not sickly sweet. It's not overbearing in those notes of that finishing. The fact that you have a craft distillery not only going through the work of aging, distilling, bottling it, working with local people to make those barrels and the maple syrup itself, phenomenal to see. B+ in my book every day. I think it's well worth the price at $80. I can't argue with it. This is what you want in the fall time, and I gotta give that props. Big thumbs up. If you can get over to the distillery itself and pick this one up, I recommend it. And again, if you're interested in learning more about the Watershed Distillery and some of their releases, a link to their website will be down in the description area below. Go show them some love. So yeah, there you have it, folks. Watershed Distillery, barrel strength, straight bourbon whiskey, finished in maple syrup barrels. If you have any questions about the bottle itself, let me know down in the comment section below. I will do my best to answer it. And if you have any specific spirits I should go looking for, also let me know down below. Love doing these reviews and sharing with you the experience at home. And as always, may your last drink of the night be the best one.
You know, and I really like it might